Hello friends, welcome back to the Jazz Ranch and the land of the shades. But I have a special program for you. You know, people have been asking me, why don't you get Band in the Box and try that out? But I did program 4 different grooves, or styles you could say, and I have them for you this evening. And they are a swing, medium swing, a bossa nova, a funky groove, and a backing up a saxophone player in a trio. Now this is all, I'm going to be using the song called It Could Happen to You. Now this is very good if you're in a high school band, or you're trying to play in a band, or you're older, you want to get into a band, you want to play with other musicians. This is a good way to practice and get your time together and be able to play in a rhythm section. So as a pianist, this is very useful. And I encourage you to work with this and use backing tracks and try this out. And I'll give you more of this as we go along, as I learn things. But you're going to get some tips on this video as well. So here we go now. It Could Happen to You. 4 different styles using Band in the Box. Here we go. I'm going to give you a few tips about each category. The basic medium slow swing, the funk version, funky Latin version, the bossa nova, and then comping behind a soloist. So the first one is the piano's playing the melody and you're playing with the trio, so you want it to swing. Now you want the left hand to be very connected with the bass player. And complementing the right. So the right hand stays pretty much in legato type of just dictating that melody, and the left hand now becomes very percussive and off the beat, like it can be. And I'm trying to leave some space so that you hear the bass player. So the more space you leave, the better you're going to hear the bass player, and you're better going to feel the groove. So it's important to leave spaces in there. And I had to concentrate on that and focus on that because I tend to fill in too many spaces, and probably most of you do. So in order to make it swing better, you just have to just lay this down. Now the left hand is comping in a similar way I'm going to show you with the 2 hands, but it's mostly off the beat, on the beat, short tones or long tones. So those are the 4 varieties of comps, but they usually kind of want to complement that melody. So it might be So I go like that. I wouldn't go. I wouldn't do that unless I wanted to support the melody. I would want to contrast it like. And some variety there. That one I put one, you know, so it's the 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and so it falls on the and. See, so a lot of times when the right hand is falling on the beat, the left hand should fall off the beat in order to create a balance or a contrast between the two hands. So now I'm not going to talk too much about the soloing, but I'm just going to say that I'm comping here because of the way the melody is falling. I have to start the melody here in the key of E flat down low. So I'm just keeping it simple here in the left hand. When I get up to the higher register, an octave up, now I can begin to use rootless voicing. So now I'm using an E flat major 9 there, to an A flat 13, to a G minor 7 flat 5 like that, to a C7 sharp 9. I sometimes alter the chords and do things like that. That's a C7 sharp 9 to a C7 flat 9, sharp 9, flat 9, F minor 7. So you want to study some of my previous videos on rootless voicings to understand these voicings. The main thing I want to talk about is how I'm playing the rhythm, or how I'm trying to hook up with that rhythm section. That's what you want to get with this, and that's what you want to practice. We'll go on to the next step. Okay, the second style is Bossa Nova. Now, this is straight eights. It's not swing eights, so like, it's like, in other words, it's not so much a responsibility of the pianist as it is the drummer in particular and the bass player. So the bass player is playing more like this kind of a thing. like he's playing. So it's a different rhythm in the bass. So you want to just kind of so the left hand tends to play off of that bass line, and you just have to feel the even eighth notes. You really can't tell so much by what I'm doing here, but I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it a different way then. That's swinging. Can you hear the difference? This is... It's not so much in the right hand, but the left hand is more percussive, I guess you'd say it, and shorter beats, not so as legato playing. And that's about all I can say about that. You just have to experience those two grooves and play in those two idioms, in those two styles, and try to complement the rhythm section with what you're doing in your left hand, and also your right hand too is going to play a part in it. Okay, the third technique, this is more funky now. This is the more extreme kind of technique in which, you know, it's more percussive, or it's more, shall we say, on top of the beat, maybe not so laid back. It's so we're going. See, so without the rhythm section, I really can't duplicate it. But what I'm saying is here, it's like, you see, so that's the main thing you want to get about this. And it's things you need to listen to. You need to listen to these grooves and then try to play along with them and listen to people who are playing on them, and what I did, and get a sense of how to play on a funk groove, because it's more space, but it's more percussive. You know, the left hand is more percussive, and you play differently in the right hand as well. So that's all I'm going to say about it for now. Just study it and listen to a lot of people that do that kind of groove and see what you can pick up by listening. Your ear will tell you what sounds good. Okay, this is really an introduction to playing with the rhythm section, but this last one that I'm going to use for this video is playing and comping, strictly comping or playing chords rhythmically behind a soloist, like a sax player. And in this particular case, it actually is Phil Woods who's playing, but somehow they figured out how to take his phrases and insert them into a song, bits and pieces, you know, measure by measure. It's pretty amazing they could take actually his playing and put it into a song which he wasn't actually soloing on, but they took bits of solos that he recorded and arranged them in such a way that they would complement or play along with the chord changes of this song. So that's pretty amazing. I thought that kind of knocked me out when I heard that. But anyway, for comping, now, as a, you know, like, you can comp in 3 positions. Like, you can comp, well, actually, just the bass note and the chords here. So you're voicing the chords now. You're not voicing them in root position here because you got the root in the left hand. So there's a probably, like, well, I would say a first inversion, but I'm adding this note. There's the third inversion, right? There's the third inversion. There's a first inversion, you see. So, and I'm using voice leading here. So this is, comping is very important for a pianist because most of the time that's what you do. You play while someone else is playing like 200 choruses of a solo, and you just comp and comp. And particularly if you're in a big band, you just are comping all the time, and that's your role. You know, as well as the guitarist. You know, like you just wait for your solo and it never happens. So anyway, that's a lot of fun. So that's the first position. right, with the bass note and the chord here, and usually in inversions. Second position is spread voicing, so it'd be like this. And I've talked about that in a lot of videos, so you want to look at the spread voicing, but you can comp in that way. Let's do the first version, like. Now rhythmically, of course, it's the same thing I said before. It's on the beat, off the beat, long tone, short tone. Complement the melody, stay in the groove with the bass player and the drummer. So that's the first. Second is spread voicing. Now this is spread out. 2 notes here, 3 notes here. Root and 7th, 3rd, 16th, 16th, 13th, 9th, you know. So you get some really nice voicings in the spread voicing. And then the third one would be taking this up to the rootless chords and then adding some octaves and some additional notes in the right hand, mostly in octaves, or it can be like this, like that. So I'm creating a full sound up in the higher register, with this being rootless voicings, and then adding harmony in octaves and harmony in the right hand. So like when you listen to Horace Silver, he always plays, he starts out like this, then he goes to this, and then he goes to this. So he's building his solo. The energy of his comping throughout a solo, let's say a sax solo, is building throughout the solo, and that's a fascinating thing. That's all from the Jazz Ranch. Thanks for joining me. Please write to me. I love to hear from you. I always try to respond. Give me some time, and I will respond to your comments or your emails. And until next time, I'll say, in the words of my great friend Hermie Dressel, God rest his merry soul, swing loose, and we'll see you around the block. Bye-bye.